This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be listening to Most Messed Up from the old 97's.
And Revelation from Lost Lonely Boys.
Hello and welcome to Music Worth Buying. My name is Robert Kinsler and I'm a music writer and a musician.
My name is TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
Now, 20 years after the release of the band's debut, Hitchhike to Rome, the old 97's have followed up their last two albums, The Grand Theater Volume 1 and 2, with Most Messed Up. This is a hell of a way to celebrate a 20th anniversary. The band is basically doing what it's always done, just getting out there, you know, rocking as hard as any band out there. You know, yeah, they still have that country, kind of alternative country rock backdrop, but, you know, they really create a sound and stuff that's really theirs alone, you know. And
what a way to celebrate 20 years by calling your album
Most
Messed Up. Yeah, I like that.
And there's some song titles on here. We won't necessarily get to them all, but, you know, like Let's Get Drunk and Get It On. I mean, you know, you get Wheels Off. You get the idea. Like, these are guys that are
titles like that.
You know, they celebrate life's imperfections in a style that, like I said, is kind of they own it. So, but actually, the first song that we're going to hear a little bit of is called "Longer Than You've Been Alive," and this song might be the best one I've ever heard as far as a band kind of chronicling what it's like to, you know, the things that you give up to be in a touring band. You know, you're not home, you know, maybe, you know, relationships don't necessarily survive. You don't see your kids or whatever. But this is it's just a great song, kind of the stream of consciousness that Rhett Miller gives. So let's listen to a little bit about that and then talk about the album.
Yeah, I'm curious.
We've been doing this longer than you've been alive, propelled by some mysterious drive, and they still let me do it as weird as that seems. And I do it most nights and then again in my dreams. Infinite hallways and giant hotels.
Okay, that's my first listen. And I enjoyed the out of this song. I'll say I enjoyed the snot out of it, okay? To avoid using other language here on YouTube. You know, what I really loved about the song, besides the fact that it just had a great groove with it too, a great melody, was the humor and the honesty. The honesty, absolute honesty about the lyrics. I love that line about, you know, most times I was really into it, but sometimes I'm just punching the clock.
And I love that line in there. And of course, I don't know what we'll get to, but where he says, "Jumping off risers I shouldn't have climbed." I mean, just every image you can think about, and for those of you that have been in a band or you go to concerts all the time, you know exactly, like, you know, what it's like to be backstage. You know, the smell of the beer in the dressing rooms and all that stuff. I mean, it's just so spot on. You can just feel 20 years of history. And he wraps it
in one song,
in one great. I think it's like six or 7 minutes. That is a long song, but it's great. It just keeps you totally involved in, okay, what's he going to talk about next? And it's just great. And meanwhile, the band's just rocking away.
I felt like I was there.
Yeah, exactly.
I really was there. Yeah, dug the heck out of that song. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the band really does that. And again, this might be a 20-year celebration of the band, but it's a very simple package. It comes in as Most Messed Up comes in a standard jewel case and just very sparse packaging. And then there's this little booklet. And it basically, like you said, insert it. It looks like it was basically they just printed it on a copy machine.
It has this look like it was cheaply photocopied. It's not. It's actually professionally printed, but it looks has this feel like it was just cheaply photocopied. Yeah. Like it's just tossed out there, you know, real quick.
But it works.
Like what Neil Young did with Living with War, where it looked like it was made out of brown paper bag wrapping, that type of thing. It's a statement. Yeah, it's a statement.
But again, these songs, you know, kind of like what the band has always done. I mean, they just tap into who they are and just celebrating life and music and love and having a drink and stuff. They just tap into that and they bring that into their songs with the power that is infectious, you know.
I want to hear the next track. Can we get to it?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Not that you're not interesting, but I'm just was so excited by that first track that I want to hear the next one. I'm real excited.
Well, let's listen to a little bit of Nashville.
Cool. I'm ready.
And there's a universe that's floating out in space, and I look look up there and I can't find my face, and I'm seeing my reflection backstage, writing down the same old words on the same old page.
You know, the hardest thing for me when I edit this show is going to be finding 30 seconds I can play from this that will be okay for the family audience. Right. F-bombs in this song.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, fun song. Enjoy it.
Yeah, there's definitely a bar band on steroids, or however you want to say it. But, you know, the old 97's are just... I think part of why they never get old is it's just this unbridled energy that they bring every
youthful
time.
Energy.
Yeah, youthful. Every time you see them live, or every time you listen to the records, it's like, you know, it's just... There's just a power there.
Yeah.
It kind of like maybe what the Ramones did, but I mean, obviously they don't sound like that, but kind of thing where they didn't veer from kind of like every time we go out there, it might be the last time we get out there.
Yeah.
Let's just give it our all, and that's what they do. And I love the back here. You know, like we said, it's a very sparse package, but maybe to sum it up, album length 39 minutes 50 seconds or 57 seconds. They have all these kind of funny things out there right here, but I mean that's what it is. It's just it just kicks.
It sounds like it's a fun 39 minutes.
Oh, it is.
And 57 seconds.
Yeah, and it's an album you want to play a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so going from that to what I would say just that kind of whole raucous thing, I want to bring up the latest album by Los Lonely Boys, which is Revelation. And this is their 6th studio release. It's their 5th full-length album from the Chicano rock power trio. And... now, whereas with the old 97's, it's this very, in-your-face, raucous kind of just...
Very loose.
Loose type of feel, which they do really well.
Yeah.
Right from the very first album of Los Lonely Boys, this was an incredibly tight and polished power trio. This band has a sense of tightness that few bands can demonstrate. It's the kind of tightness that comes from years of playing, hundreds of gigs... tons of covers, and this level of polished professionalism that this band has only improved with the years. And this is the reason why I think probably some more hipster critics will dismiss them. I will not, because this is a great band that has consistently, from album to album, released great songs. Now, this time around, they're working with Don Yemin. I hope I say his name right. He's produced R.E.M., he's produced Mellencamp, and they're also working with Emmy Award-winning composer-producer Matthew Gerard. This is the first time that the band has significantly embarked on outside co-songwriting. Now, this time around, they've also secured some placements for some of the tracks on this album with NASCAR and with ESPN football and Fox football. So definitely bringing in the outside songwriters is an attempt to do that, okay? But having said that, nothing feels out of place. Listening to the album without this knowledge, I would never have guessed that they had done anything differently as far as the songwriting. I would have guessed that the songwriting was internal like it's always been. So there's a real consistency here. So let's go ahead. I think this is a rare feat to do this, to write songs with the intent that, hey, we're going to get some commercial placements, but yet not in any way sacrifice the sound of the band without sacrificing any of their integrity. So let's go ahead and we're going to listen to a track. In fact, this is one of the tracks that has received placement already for NASCAR. This is called Can't Slow Down.
I like living in the fast lane, 'cause it's all I know. Don't try to catch me, 'cause you're too damn slow. Smoke coming from the back tires as I accelerate. I can't slow down. It's gonna pass midnight.
This is one of many great songs on this record. I saw Los Lonely Boys back in February of 2014 when they, I guess, were first touring in support of the album. And they played for more than an hour and a half and just rocked it. I mean, there's something magical about siblings, and in this case, 3 brothers, that really, they have something special. I mean, that's been proven over times with some of the sibling groups and musical artists and stuff, and there's a passion to their music, and I think, like you said, I think it's unfair how some critics kind of diss them almost for being so smooth.
Yeah, and when I say they have a polished sound, it's polished. Not I don't think so much from a production standpoint.
Right,
the production is
right.
good on
Yeah.
on their albums. It's very good, but it's polished because they're just such tight players,
and
They're
that's
such
what proved
good
out live.
players.
Yeah, when I saw them live,
you know,
yeah, it's fun when you see Ringo on drums and stuff, and JoJo on bass, and Henry on guitar. I mean, they're just locked in.
they're so locked in,
Yeah.
and it's as if being really professional and really tight as a live unit, or when you play together, is somehow a sin. It's for the hipster critics.
Yeah, yeah.
The hipster critics, you know, in my opinion, you know. Because otherwise, this is a very, they're a power trio.
Yeah.
And you listen to their albums, yes, there's some overdubbing going on, but when you listen to them live, you don't notice it, that other stuff is missing because they're just so solid.
Yeah.
You know, that the foundation of the three of them is so
Oh,
solid.
yeah.
And I believe you said that on this last tour, they actually brought a fourth person. They brought a percussionist.
A touring percussionist, yeah. And it fit right in, and that allowed him to kind of really play up some of the grooves that they lock into. You know, like you said, on this one hand, amazing Hendrix type guitar playing.
Yeah.
Then they also have this whole thing with these amazing harmonies.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's so many different elements that they bring, and they really cohesively bring them all together, and it just sounds great, and to the support of some very good songs.
Yeah. Generally speaking, they're described as like Santana meets Stevie Ray Vaughan, a little bit of Hendrix thrown in,
And a little Los Lobos, I'd
a little
say
bit of Los
too.
Lobos,
A little bit in there.
But you can hear the Beatles in those
Yeah,
vocal harmonies.
right.
You can hear the country music influences as you go from song to song. Just a lot of things going on, but they definitely have their own sound, and they remain consistent from album to album. Some critics have said, "Oh, their albums are kind of interchangeable." That may be true, and maybe I'd be more critical, but they keep writing really solid, good songs. You know, there might be one or two tracks where they play a little around with something else. You know, the last album, Rock Pango, they had a rapper on the song Porn Star. You know, a little something different on that one track. This album, there's a track where it actually opens with harpsichord. Totally different. You know, it's a very pop sounding song, completely different, you know. But by and large, you know, they'll have those occasional tracks where it's a little bit different. They play around, they stretch a little bit, but mostly they stay with what they know. And they just do it extremely well.
Yeah. In
Packaging-
many ways, that kind of shares like what old 97's do. I
Yes,
mean,
exactly.
Basically, it's like you maybe your life is changing, other things are happening. You bring that into the songs, but you don't abandon kind of who you are at your core musically. You know.
Yet old 97's, because they're more raucous sounding, some critics, once again, are less likely to dismiss them.
Yeah.
Whereas with Los Lonely Boys, because they are such a polished group, polished players, that's what I say,
Yeah,
polished players,
yeah.
that critics want to dismiss them for some reason.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's
unfortunate.
there's room for both worlds,
Absolutely.
in my view.
Absolutely. Just like there's room for Star Trek and Star Wars.
That's right, exactly.
Absolutely.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Exactly. And packaging-wise, this one comes in a mini vinyl gatefold. It is beautiful to look at. It actually is. It has. You can actually. It's tactile as far as feeling it is concerned. Inside, very nice. Color picture of the group inside. It comes with a booklet. The booklet is well put together too. Lyrics are easy to read. It does have some photos in it, but mostly lyrics and credits, but well put together. And so let's listen to another track. This one is called There's Always Tomorrow.
So tell me, why do I always say there's always tomorrow? What if I don't wake up? What did I leave behind? Why do I always say there's always tomorrow? Why don't I live today, telling the ones I love?
And that was There's Always Tomorrow, which is the track I mentioned that has the harpsichord at the beginning of it. I don't know if we'll get to play that part, but it starts with the harpsichord,
Yeah,
which is
very
completely
nice.
different. Strong Beatles influence. I played that one because it was so polar opposite of the one I played previously. Very uplifting, happy song. You could hear that song as like the theme to a TV show.
Yeah.
Like a sitcom or some type of TV show. It would go really well. And the whole, I think the reason why the whole idea of like, okay, let's see if we can get some placements, you know, like they've done with ESPN Sports and NASCAR, Fox Sports, and let's try to, you know, elevate our presence, you know, in the world by doing this. And let's work with an outside songwriter. I think the reason why none of this feels why at the end of the day the songs don't feel uncharacteristic to the band. A lot of times when bands do this, they start writing songs that are totally uncharacteristic, totally out of character for them, and the fans realize it. And I don't think that if the fans don't know this, they're going to realize it. I think it's because at the end of the day, they probably went with the idea of, you know, let's just make sure we write good songs to begin with, and everything else should fall into place. I think that's the I'm guessing that's the approach they took, because it sure feels that way.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that, yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, Revelations just continues, in my opinion, irregardless of anything else. It feels like this just continues their sound, and it feels like business as usual for them, and I mean that in the best possible way. And I'd say business is good.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Yeah. Well, thanks very much for bringing that in.
No, my pleasure. And thanks
Texas was well represented today.
Yes, both these bands were from Texas.
Yeah.
2 Texas bands.
We didn't
great
plan
bands.
it that way, but great bands and very different, but it works.
But great sounds too from each of them. And so we hope you dug what we played for you today, and we hope you'll check it out. If you do, please click under Show More Info here on YouTube, where you can link to our blog page, where you can link to Amazon, and where you can purchase these albums and show your support for all the musicians and everybody involved in making these albums. And until next time, my name's TJR. You can check out my music at tjrmusic.com, and check out my solo reviews here at the YouTube channel.
And my name's Robert Kinsler, and you can read more of my stuff right here at musicworthbuying.com, and also you can check my stuff out at ocregister.com.
And please subscribe. We'll see you next time.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.